Can everyone hear us now? Yay! This is Gay, and Rat is here announcing for Denver Roller Derby.
We have cheap shot Peggy up at the front, 2 Denver blockers, gets around them on the outside. Misery Lizness also found the lane on the out. Got about a 20-foot lead, a bit of time to pick up points, but Misery Lizness is gonna steal all 4. Yeah, a bit late on the call off. Denver claiming the front again, something they've been doing a lot. Both teams got all 4 blockers. Looks like Smash getting ready to play some offense for Inland Empire. KY Jelly trying to open up the outside for Denver. Smack overflow, trying to find room on the in. Smash getting in the middle of the Denver tripod. And Wojo getting taken out to the inside. And Smack follows her own blockers up the in. Wojo just has West to beat. Denver, we have Last Warfare and a few others trying to get in and break up the tripod. Smack taken down, but I think she got a couple. That is 2 points. One red blocker standing in the penalty box. Denver trying to open up the outside line. The red pivot, that is Hanyolo fighting to cover that out, but Miss Enigma escapes anyway. Bambino came in fast to the middle, but fell down. Miss Enigma taken out, dodges the run back, gets around on the outside. And a bit of offense trying to open the middle, and that looks like Bambino will get out. Just holds the line after a hit from Bash Tag. Miss Enigma hits the middle. Both teams all 4 blockers. Not too many penalties so far. It'll be Vinny again jamming for Denver. KY Jelly, the Denver pivot, looking like they'll be coming back to play offense. And Vinny spins around the blocker on the outside. Smash trying to break it up, and KO Brown trying to pick it up, trying to open up the middle. But Tawny Tubla eventually gets around KY on the inside. Denver not really getting any offense, and Misery Lizness is taken out, resets back. That is getting solo blocked for a bit behind her own tripod. And the Inland Jammer finds a line on the out, but there's a late cut call, so leads should still be open, but Lizness has already taken off the star, so we are going to have a 2-minute jam. lost eligibility for lead for both jammers. Ghost Skate Killa trying to break up the tripod, but Lisness was trapped to the inside. Sweep attempt on the inside. Looks like Denver just needs to get a bit more coordination on their offense. We have people going in different directions, going at different times, and Lisness thinks she is lead, but she is not. So the inland jammer, that is Cheap Shot Peggy, is going to be out on their initial pass. Elsie going to try to make a hold for Lisness in the middle. The tripods are jammed up against each other, and Lisness takes advantage of that to get around to the outside. Now she may be able to match Cheap Shot Peggy's points. Got a couple points, but taken out of bounds, and Cheap Shot Peggy is going to escape with just enough time to get another scoring trip. Denver setting their defense. Misery Lisness getting 3 or 4. We have one blocker in the box. That is the Inland Empire pivot. I think that is Han Yolo. Denver trying to set two offense on the inside. Doesn't quite work out. Smack Overflow getting a big hit from KO Brown. And Smack getting a little trapped just as her offense was trying to come help her. KY is breaking it up. Could also take a star pass. Smack Overflow gotta look out for those hits from KO Brown. And we have KY Jelly and Wes Slamderson going to the box, so Denver down 2. It's going to be about a full 30 seconds of two blockers in the box when we start this next jam. So it'll be Royal Tenenbaum and Bash Tag trying to lock down the defense. Going to have their work cut out from them. Going to have Smash playing offense from the inside, and they do not close that. Smash's offensive hits are too strong. L on Wheels trying to tiptoe up the inside, but doesn't work. And an easy pass on the in for Bambino. Denver will need to get their defense set. Hitting the middle. And Bash Tag gets a hit out just barely at the end of the engagement zone, so she will be able to run the jammer back. And Denver is up to full strength again. But that will be a pack destruction, so it is back down to 3. KY Jelly taking a star pass. Clean star pass out without any trouble. So Denver will be down 1 to start. Still favoring the front as they have done pretty much every jam start so far. We've got 23 to 20 with Denver leading. Denver tripod going to try to plug on the outside, and the jammer switches back to the in where it is a bit less dense, but that is Miss Enigma charging up the center, breaking through that seam. And Tawny Tubla hit the seam hard, then dodged up the outside while the Denver blockers were still recovering. but it will be a clean 4-0. One blocker for each team still sitting in the box. Vinny trying the out, cuts back to the middle, and it works. She has lead. Cheap shot Peggy about 30 feet behind. Denver has a short window to get some points, and they'll get at least 3, and that's the 4th one. Very clean scoring pass. Called it off with no points for the opposing team. We have an inland blocker standing in the penalty box. Denver trying to get a bit of offense on the outside, and it works. Misery Lisness up. But that is a cut call, so Wojo still can get lead. One inland blocker going to the penalty box for direction. Wojo getting around to the inside. And Denver has one blocker in the box. Smash going for offense. KY trying to counter block. We've got just KY and Nikita rolling up at the front, but they both fall, and Wojo is going to get through. Calls it off just as Lisness stands. That will be a 10-second power start, and Denver also has one blocker sitting in the box. So Inland has a good opportunity to play some quick offense, get a good lead, and still be set to catch Denver's jammer. Let's see what sort of offense play they have set up. They've got 2 on the inside, 1 on the out. Denver trying to control the in. Denver trying to get to the front and run away a bit. But Denver overcommits to the outside. Jammer cuts back in with a little bit of help, and Bambino is lead. Misery Lisness charges up the in. It's taken down. Smart to run back. Blocker falls, and Lisness is free. Bambino probably already has a couple points. Try to earn the remaining ones, and that should be 4. We have a jammer, or we have a skater down for injury, I believe. No, they're back up. Both teams still 1 in the box. Smack overflow versus Tawny Dubois. Tawny tried the outside. Smack getting pocketed to the outside as well. Now is going to try the middle. Tawny is getting out, and KY will be sitting down in the box. That is 2 Denver blockers. Smack dealing with the one-on-one at the front. And Smash breaks up the 2 Denver blockers remaining to get a clean lane on the inside for Tawny. Smack still dealing with the front 2. Taken out by Smash. He's going to run back. Denver just gets the tripod back. And after a bit of offense, they get the tripod back together. Tawny is just backing up, and the Denver blockers are backing up with them. KY, star pass, jumps the apex. Did hear a penalty whistle, but no one is heading to the box, so it may have been overturned. No, there is one inland blocker heading to the box now. Didn't see what that call was. So they will be down They're thinking of taking the front, but it looks like Denver is going to call a timeout. So Inland thinking of changing things up, taking the front for the first time I can remember. Denver's been fighting for that front spot a lot and trying to set their offense from there. I'm not sure what the standbys are talking about during this timeout, but they have had a few too many instances where they had two blockers in the box at the same time. So that could be one of those things they're bringing up. One in the box is not great. It removes your ability to play offense most of the time, but two is when really starts to get hard to hold those jammers and you can have a lot of points pile up. We've got to clean it up, play a bit more conservative. Last Warfare offense hit up the middle, gets a lot of momentum for L on Wheels. L on Wheels cuts back to the inside, and it will be lead. The Inland Jammer cheap shot Peggy is getting run back, so no opportunity for them to play team offense. And L on Wheels is back in. Allowed a bit of space to run up and hit that seam hard. And getting close to a no pack, but not quite. Royal Tenenbaum is choosing to stay in bridge rather than, but now she is going to play offense. And now there's a split pack because the fourth Inland blocker had come back, so when Royal ran up to play offense, we had two groups of four blockers. No penalties were called on that split pack, and L on Wheels does eventually get through. Inland Jammer is still in the pack, still wearing the star. Looks like they're not thinking about a star pass just yet. And L on Wheels had a bit of room on the inside, but it closes again. Right now we just have Denver playing 4D. And Last Warfare is going to leave and try to set up some offense. Hitting up the middle. And she's just going to let her jammer finish that out. But at this point it's a bit too late to earn any more points. Won't be enough time to get back around for a scoring trip. But that should be an 8-0 jam for Denver. Retaking the lead, 39-35. Fun fact: Smash, who's lined up for Inland right now, is one of the players for our Murda team, Denver Ground Control. And a quick lead for Miss Enigma, about a 60-foot head start on Wojo, and there's a lot of room on the inside. Gets those first 2 points. Tries to spin around Smash and may get those final two. We'll have to see whether the refs say she was in bounds when she passed them. Looks like she will only get 2. The Inland pivot, I think that is Hanyolo standing in the box. Denver at full strength, probably going to try to get a quick 2 offense play. They're going to try to open the inside line, and that was almost a very quick lead for Vinny. But Inland just barely managed to close that off. Vinny, one to deal with. Looks like that will be 4 points for Bambino, but there is a penalty being called on someone. I believe that is a red blocker getting a direction penalty for some of the offense that was played. Denver taking a bit of a four corners position, looking to surround those three inland blockers. They're going to move back, take a back start, and the inland tripod is very far in front of that Denver tripod, gives the miserylessness a lot of room to run up and juke, and a bit of a distraction hit from KY Jelly helps aid that juke. Miserylessness just got two to juke around, gets the outside line. Tawny Tubla trying to push out Nikita Chiquita. Miserylessness dives through the center. Completes that scoring pass quickly. Two Denver blockers going to the box though. And Denver is going to try to race the pack a bit. Miserylessness got about a half-track lead to try to get some more, and she is going to. Yes, she hits the inside, cuts back to the middle, and gets all four. So Denver going to have two blocker penalties to kill. It will be Royal Tenenbaum and Bashtag trying to hold that defense down by themselves. And Stonewall is jammed up against them on the inside. It looks like we have a bit of jammer defense by Elle on Wheels, who tried to take the in, got hit out. There's a no pack, and I think someone might be going to the box for that. No. Not a destruction penalty. Stonewall through. Denver defense not ready there. And their tripod is just together, but a bit open in the middle. Stonewall just weaving through people, always cutting back to the middle, and gets through again. 8 points so far. Elle on Wheels almost through. Stonewall a little spin on the inside, and Elle on Wheels is going to the box for a cut. So that is 12 points so far. They can keep trying to rack those up, or they can get a few more and call it off. And Denver ran away from the offense, but no offense was coming for them, so they're going to get a pack destruction, I think. No, I think that is a failure to reform on one of the inland blockers. Two Denver blockers at the front just trying to slow it down, and it looks like inland wanted to ice Elle on Wheels in the penalty box, but she was already out when they called the jam. But inland does retake the lead by 1 point. 15-point jam to take the lead again. And they are taking the front, backing up onto the Denver tripod. One Denver blocker down. Miss Enigma taking the inside, cutting back, trying to break through that seam. That seam of Daddy Longlegs and Smash, and she finds a line on the in. Wojo was pocketed to the inside, finds a bit of daylight, but still has to get past KY Jelly. Brawny Darko coming to join. And Denver back up to a tripod on Wojo as Miss Enigma gets through. Wojo out now, about 30 feet behind, but Miss Enigma skating fast, trying to widen that gap. And KY Jelly picks off one blocker. And I believe that is Royal picked off Smash, so a couple easy points. And Inland does steal one at the end, but that was 4 for Miss Enigma. Denver making sure they have their pivot cover in order. Oh, Denver barely getting their final blocker on the track. They almost had to start down one for that entire jam. Vinny challenging the middle hard. The blocker's having a hard time slowing her down, and she looking for a line on the outside, going to run up the middle, maybe try to draw some multiplayer blocks. And she jukes around to the inside for lead. We have Bambino giving a hit to Bash Tag and getting through. One blocker from each team sitting down, and Vinny is getting a cut. So we will have a power jam for Bambino. Denver racing the pack. They're going to need to get back together. They get the tripod, but the tripod is not set well enough, and Bambino finds a line on the outside. Hanyolo getting a pack penalty and also an illegal procedure for not leaving the track soon enough. I'll have to get the penalty numbers from our officials during halftime to see if anyone's in danger of fouling out, but Vinny is back. Yeah, finds the open inside. And we are going to have enough time for both of these jammers to pick up some more points. No pack. No penalty assigned for that no pack. And that is going to be a back block on Bambino. Nobody fell, but I believe they came in forcefully enough that it allowed them to pass another Denver blocker. They do win the jam 12-4 and retake the lead again, but they are going to be starting down a jammer for the next half. They also have their pivot standing in the box, so Denver will have a chance at a quick lead if they play their cards right. So we are back for our final game of the day, final half of our final game. Denver Roller Derby Standbys versus Inland Empire. Inland Empire is holding a 4-point lead, but they are going to have to defend a full 30-second power start at the start of this half. I believe it is Bambino starting in the box. Denver trying to claim the front so that they can get some good offense started on this power start. They don't want Inland to be able to run away from them. Oh, but there has been a change. It seems that Vinny Vidiovici was also called on a penalty at the end of last half. I didn't see that before, so we will actually, I believe both jammers sat after or near the end of that jam, so, and they are both standing in the box, so we'll have them both being released either right away or pretty quickly after the jam starts. And Inland will also have their pivot coming back into the mix. That is Hanyolo. So we'll see if these teams stay near the pivot line or if they decide to move forward and backward or backward as these jammers come back in. Also see which way the jammers decide to re-enter the track. From where they are, they might just choose to enter in the second straightaway and get that big run up, enter the pack at high speed, rather than going back the non-derby direction and sacrificing their speed as they come in. Holding steady at the pivot line, Vinny decides to go back, and Bambino goes around the long way, but will come in with a bit more speed. Denver backing up tight onto the opposing tripod, so Bambino is not really able to juke the Denver tripod or come in with that much force. And Vinny is lead. Vinny jumps the apex. It is clean. Bambino giving a star pass. That pivot had Haniolo had a free path out of the pack.
Nice clean star pass. Vinny taking another scoring pass and then calling the jam.
Vinny always been a strong jammer at taking the lines or taking the middle and forcing her way through the seams, but she has been upping her game when it comes to juking and taking the lines.
Gained a lot of confidence in that line work that's made her middle work even more impressive and effective.
Denver trying to set up some offense, but they do not get quite far back enough. They had no one on the back line of the inland defense. Have a very tight pack, but Misery Lisness gets run back and a bit of space opens up for Wojo. Stonewall was playing offense but has dropped off, and Denver is now Stonewall comes back in. Gets a lot of momentum for Wojo, who now just has Last Warfare and KY Jelly to beat. Brawny Darko going to the box. Denver will be down their pivot. KY Jelly tracking. No pack. About a little more room for KY Jelly, almost out of play, and Wojo does get around to the inside. Misery Lisness also found a line to the out. She's going to be about a third of a track behind. Denver a little bit separated. They'll need to get together to defend their points. And they have one offense on them, that is Mistress of All Evil. Wojo gets 0 points. Denver just barely managing to stay in front and defend theirs. Denver holding on to a 4-point lead. Standby is doing a bit of a surround. Now they will back up behind. They're doing a bit of 4 defense to start, he wanted that fourth person aiding their catch. That is a cut on Tawny Dubois. Bash tag clears the inside, and Miss Enigma gets through. So no pack briefly, but the standbys have captured a goat from inland. Miss Enigma getting a lot of momentum from Bash Tag's offense and hops around 2 blockers on the in. She'll have 4 points. Just as the Inland Empire Jammer is standing, so Bash Tag with a quick sniper hit.
Missy not showing any signs of slowing down.
Royal Tenenbaum is the last line of defense, and both jammers get out together. Standbys could have chosen to run that and gamble, but the inland jammer was a little bit further ahead, so they decide to just play it safe and call it off.
A smart move when they have a tight lead.
Fighting for the pivot line again. But it looks like Inland Empire is going to take the back now. We'll see if they back up a bit more. Nope, they are going to hold near the pivot line. The inland tripod got very jammed up against the Denver tripod. Vinny Vidivici forced her way back to the middle and then hopped around some blockers to the outside. And cheap shot Peggy also toe stops around to the out. Vinny, believe she had 4 points. Yes, she had already earned those 4 points. Going to have Smack Overflow lining up. And we have the standbys taking the back line. Bash Tag will be the fourth looking to play some offense, or maybe just stay on defense for a minute. We have Smash kind of threatening to play a bit of O on the inside.
While Bash Tag's also threatening to play O from the inside. Neither of which end up playing offense.
Both jammers are just being left to go it on their own. And Smack Overflow does find the line to the out. Bash Tag caught Bambino briefly, but they couldn't get the tripod back together, and Bambino was able to cut back to the middle. Smack Overflow almost found the line, almost was able to take that seam, but only gets past 2 blockers. Still expanding the lead a bit, now up to an 18-point lead. Always makes you feel a bit more comfortable, but certainly not secure. It's the sort of thing that can go away in a single power jam. Standby is not quite far back enough to play much offense. It looks like both teams are going a bit of a 4D approach.
But Missy finds a line on the inside all by herself, and then the Inland Empire jammer follows that line as well.
Yeah, Missy Nigma was forcing the Inland Empire tripod up against the Denver tripod, and when they're that back tripod, once they start colliding with the tripod in front, they've been having a bit more difficulty covering those lines. We are going to have a team timeout. I think that will be for Inland Empire. Denver going on a bit of a run. It was a very close game for a while, and Denver has expanded it out to a 22-point lead. So Inland is going to check in and see what they can do to get it under control again. Denver jammer Vinny is conferring with her pod. And we are going to have an empty penalty box, but looks like both teams started playing a lot of offense initially, but they have kind of reverted to playing more conservative, playing a 4 defense approach. However, those tripods are holding pretty well in many cases, so they may be able to afford to start sending more offense again. Standby is backing up. Inland Empire a bit too far forward for this jam start, but Standby is not quite taking advantage of it.
Inland Empire takes the lead for the first time in a couple jams. And
Vinny Vidivici given a forearm penalty. She dodged a hit. She dodged a hit from a blocker, but used her forearm a bit to assist with dodging that hit. So she will start in the box. And Tawny is through with 4 points. Inland chasing Denver, and the standbys are just running away. Inland stops and there is a no pack, but no penalties are called. No, there is one penalty called, possibly destruction, possibly a failure to reform.
Inland jammer approaching again, takes a clear inside path.
Vinny is still sitting in the box. I believe she's been there for a long time, so she must have gotten the second penalty. Yeah, she stood for a couple seconds, but I believe she'd been in the box for almost a full minute, so she must have not left the track quickly enough or something along those lines. It's going to be about 5 to 7 seconds of power start for Inland Empire, plus a bit of travel time for Vinny. Our penalty box is in turn 2, so there's a bit of travel time when you're released near the start of a jam. Hit by Nikita takes Peggy out. Nikita did go out, but a couple other Denver blockers had reset in front of Peggy. And Vinny does get lead. Nikita holding the outside. Peggy just weaving back and forth, challenging Brawny on the inside. Vinny attempts a nice juke to the in, but as she's trying to hold that toe stop, as she's trying to hold that line with her toe stop, she is just out of bounds. And now she just has to pick up a couple points. And she will call it off. That is 4-0, so not a bad start for Denver, being
Each team
rebounding from that power start.
starting the next jam with one blocker in the box.
But Denver's blocker is standing, so they can either get a bit of offense in 10 seconds or so, or possibly a fourth defense if that's what they need. Inland doing a bit of a surround, trying to play some offense with those two blockers.
The L gets around on the outside for lead jam.
Bambino going chest to chest with that is Royal. And hit out at the very front of the pack by Bashtag, who is running back, getting back with Royal, and there are two more Denver blockers coming to join them. Bambino trying to go up the middle. Denver runs into the inland tripod, and Bambino does get through.
L takes a clean line up the inside and calls the jam.
Yeah, that was an easy scoring pass for L at the end, and that is a total of 8 points on the jam, getting back up to a 21-point lead.
Bashtag headed to the box as pivot at the end of the jam for Denver. One Inland Empire blocker sitting in the box as well.
3-3 blockers start. Denver going to back up, and we'll see if they can get a good surround on the inland tripod. Even just being on top of them, yes, KY sitting on top of those blockers does get Miss Enigma a bit of offense opportunity, and she is able to take the outside. Coming in slow to the pack, doesn't want to get any penalties. Wojo is attacking that seam hard, but not getting too far.
Standby's
We are close to a no pack.
tripod doing a good job of cutting off those lines with
Miss Enigma
upper
gets a cut
arms.
on the outside, though. Hashtag reaching the end of the engagement zone. There is a penalty being signaled on the inland pivot.
I believe
Stonewall.
that is a direction.
Inland playing a bit of offense, gets the Denver blockers rolling quite a bit. Hashtag closing the outside line. But we'll head to the box for a pack penalty. Miss Enigma coming back in, along with KY Jelly, who is probably going to try to open that tripod. But yes, KY does play a bit of offense, but there were only two Denver blockers playing defense, and they almost held Wojo, but Wojo does get free by the time KY comes back. Miss Enigma finding a line on the out. Apex jumps past Smash, who was the last line of defense, and she will have time, just enough time to get one more scoring trip. Smash trying to make some points for her jammer. Miss Enigma gets three, and gets the fourth as well. So at the end of that, even though they gave up a power jam, that was a jam win for Denver. 11-12. We've got an official timeout. Both teams are at full strength. I believe both teams have used one timeout so far, and so they have 2 timeouts left as well as their official review, which could come into play if one team is defending a lead at the very end. Gonna have a full strength jam start. That is Vinny from Denver, and I think that is Tawny from Inland taking a bit of a run up. Denver could have taken that opportunity to back up and negate a bit of Tawny's speed, but they chose to stay at the jammer line. Vinny challenging the seams, trying to break through a link. Dodges 2 blockers to the outside and gets around on the in. All that juking work paying off. Brawny Darko and Last Warfare holding Tawny, who was looking for the pivot, but the pivot was too far away. Vinny is going to the box on a cut, and there was a successful star pass to Hanyolo, who is now out on the initial. Denver also with a blocker in the box. They're going to run away from the offense. They get 1 or 2 picked off, and Hanyolo is able to weave through. Running away from offense, a great strategy if you pull it off, but if one person gets picked, you can become separated very quickly.
Or it can just be hard to put on the brakes suddenly and close that middle lane, which ends up being taken by Hanyolo.
Vinny challenging some seams. Hanyolo trying to run up the in, but hit out by Last Warfare. And almost found the line on the in, but takes a knee and gives Denver time to recover. Vinny going up the middle, trying to get some more points. It's going to be a jam win for Inland Empire. We got 12 points for Inland and still waiting on the final point score for Denver. It looks like it is just 3. So only a 13-point gap now. Penalties giving Inland some opportunities, but Lisness getting a lot of room to juke. Breaking through, trying to break through some arms. One-on-one with Smash. She gets taken out, and she has to reset. Denver setting their defense in the back, but a bit of offense on the outside. Bambino almost gets through, but is back in a Denver tripod. Ghost Skate Killer go into the box for a forearm. So Denver is down 1, but they do have their tripod together. And Lisness fell to a knee, but does get around the final blocker. Was back up quickly and out. And she is narrowly leading Bambino. Bambino may choose to run this. And they do not. They're going to call it. They're going to start with a 1 blocker advantage against Denver. And they're going to claim the front. It looks like Denver setting their defense in the back with Ghost Gate and Killa standing and about ready to rejoin them. Inland trying to play a bit of offense, but kind of changed their mind and went back to 4D.
Smack overflow going against that 4 defensive wall with a brace switching between 3 butts.
Smack overflow pushing hard, forcing them forward, and she does eventually find a hole. Lead jammer. Ghost Gate Killa getting separated, but holding that inside line until her pack gets back together. Offense on the in, but the jammer was trying to go to the out. Peggy is now up against KY and Last Warfare. Denver getting a bit of a cube. We're a bit of 2015 gameplay, and now they're back to the tripod. KY gonna try to use this run back to play a bit of offense. Does take 1 blocker down, but
looks a little direction.
Smack overflow does get free. But KY is going to the box, so that will put 2 Denver blockers in the box. They are holding Peggy, though. And now there has been a star pass to Stonewall, who spins past Ghost Gate Killa. Denver is going to get 1 out of the box. Probably not going to get the second, but Denver did not realize that Stonewall had dropped a helmet cover, so they burned a bit less time on that penalty than they could have.
That's the second time today I've seen early call-off when a jammer was approaching a pack with no star on their head. You can not earn points if you don't have that hat on.
Smash from Inland Empire looking for a bit of offense. Strong hit opening up the middle, and that does give a lot of room for Wojo to run up. Smash's offense earning Wojo lead. And Miss Enigma run back. Denver is going to come back, and they do pocket Wojo to the line. Some offense trying to happen on the inside, but Wojo had difficulty taking advantage because they were trapped on that line. And shouts from the bench to call the jam off, but by the time they were heard, Miss Enigma had already gotten the 4 points, so it will be a 4-4 jam. That is a wash, and Denver holds their lead of 20 points. Standby is a bit of a flat wall.
Ends up being squished into something a little bit more three-dimensional, but Inland takes the lead.
Don't think that flat wall was quite what Denver wanted, because Tawny gets a lot of momentum. Vinny trying to juke and then attacking the seams hard, but Tawny gets through pretty quickly. Denver looking for some offense. They better look for some defense now, though, and they do get their tripod back together.
However, it's only on the middle and inside lanes of the track, and that jammer takes the outside.
But a clean sweep from Denver on the inside. Vinny is going to follow behind, but Tawny will have time to get some more points. Hits Nikita. I'm not sure if that will be any points, and Vinny came into the pack hot, may also have been able to score. I believe neither jammer earning any points on that final trip. It's very close, though. Sometimes you hit one person hard enough and they pop forward just enough for you to pass another set of hips. One blue blocker getting back onto the track at the very last second. They will start full strength. Misery Lisness tries the outside, gets back, sit out, gets back in. Lots of big jukes trying to open something up, but is much smaller than all of those blockers and having a bit of difficulty breaking those seams. Bambino getting lead. Lisness about 50 feet behind. And I think that will be 4 points. But it is 4 points, and they called it off with 2 blockers still sitting in the box. So Inland will be down 2. Gonna have a bit of penalty killing to do, so always a tough time to not give up leader points when you're down 2 blockers and the other team is at full strength. And we are getting low on time, so we could see teams starting to use their timeouts to rest their best players or simply manipulate the period clock.
Hell on Wheels picking up a lead against those 2 Inland blockers.
Elle getting 4 points and calling it. And at the exact second she called it, the Inland pivot was released. The other Inland blocker is still standing.
Six minutes left on the second half of this game.
12-point lead to defend for Denver. Inland could start using their timeouts before too long. And that is a team timeout for Denver, actually. Denver burning as much of that lineup time as possible before they called that. Possibly just wanting to rest a jammer or possibly wanting to check in and make a plan. Inland Empire does still have 2 timeouts and an official review if they want to use them. They're going to have Stonewall jamming, who has also been doing a lot of blocking, but I believe has had a couple successful jams for them before. Standbys are going to have Miss Enigma starting. We have Smash bracing the Inland tripod,
which is set out exceptionally wide.
That is a forearm on Stonewall, so Miss Enigma will be lead and on a power jam. Denver kind of skating after Inland, but not actually breaking them up too much, although Inland kind of breaking up a bit on their own just from the speed of that pack.
Potentially burning some time on this power jam. The Inland tripod is able to reform tightly and strongly and put up strong resistance to Miss Enigma, who is able to get out and score 4 points.
Yes, they were almost out of play, but not quite as much accomplished by all that pack movement as Denver maybe would have liked. But still, it is 4 points for Miss Enigma, and she's coming in for more.
Calls it after a couple additional points.
I think that is 2 more.
I think you're right.
Or
maybe 3?
I believe I saw the ref signaling 3, but it says 2 on the scoreboard.
It's hard to see those fingers from up here. Denver taking that back with 4 blockers. Inland having 1 blocker in the box, starting with 3 3 on defense.
Denver going 4 defense for a bit, doesn't want to take any risks with this lead that they're defending.
But then sends Bronny to play a little bit of offense and then hang back.
Vinny dancing back and forth, then challenging the seams. She is trying to dig her shoulders through. And then gets around the outside. She will come around to score.
Successful star pass from Inland Empire.
That was a... Yes, they did get the star pass off, but Bronny was directly in front of that pivot. But Denver never quite gets their tripod back together, and Haniolo will get out. Vinny does decide to call it off. She did get all the points on that pass. Denver could have chosen to run it on the pivot, but I think they are feeling that they don't need to take any risks. Might as well just burn that time off the period clock.
And Inland starting with 1 blocker in the box. A 4-3 pack advantage for Denver.
A little surprised that Inland didn't use their timeout to try to keep a bit more time on the period clock. Lisness, outside line, she falls. I think she only had 1 arm out, but she resets back a bit just to be safe. And Tawny getting through. Denver trying to send offense on the inside, and they do open it up. Tawny only with about a 50-foot lead. Denver tripod just barely getting together. Lisness gets all 4 points. The hit and quit didn't work out for Inland, and Denver actually wins the jam 4-3. Inland Empire not using their timeout. We are going to start with more than 2 minutes on the period clock, though, so no matter how long this jam goes, they will get the opportunity to call timeout and get another jam.
Looks like Miss E gets out on that inside line, followed quickly by Haniolo on the outside.
That is Cheap Shot Peggy.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah, just a one point jam for Denver. No timeout being called. So this could be the last jam. If Denver gets lead, they may choose to just run the clock out.
I see Glit in the chat talking about rankings. Do you know what the WFTDA predicted for this game?
I do not, but Glit probably does. Strong seams by the Inland tripod. And Wojo gets out. 1 Denver blocker coming back from the box, 1 going to the box. Denver getting their tripod set, just needs to hold their defense, honestly, and not give up anything big. And they are protecting their points well. Smack overflows coming up, and we'll get at least 2. Passes a blocker and gets 1 box point. But it looks like Inland is going to keep this jam running.
Smack jumps the apex.
Yeah, that will be 4-4. So not what Inland needed with the time on the period clock. There is only going to be 1 more jam unless Inland can tie this up.
Oh, thank you, Glit. Sounds like the predictor is a slightly more than 2-to-1 ratio, and we are having a very tight game right now, so we will not hit that ratio, meaning that regardless of the win-loss outcome of this game, it will be a rankings win for Inland Empire.
Both jammers just stuck. Vinny finding a room on the middle, though, so Denver does have this game in the bag. We have a star pass. Denver is going to try to pick up a few points from the looks of it. About to call it off. only 1 point, but that is enough to secure the win for Denver, although it will be a rankings win for Inland Empire.
Yeah, I believe Denver had a pretty significant rankings win earlier today, and the two will be geometrically averaged. Great showings from both of these teams today. We had a lot of fierce defense, strong offensive plays.
Yeah, that is going to be our final game for the weekend. Our final game for the day. We do have some more games tomorrow. Just going to pull up that schedule. So tomorrow we will have, at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, we'll have Sacramento Bruin Trouble. That is their B team versus Inland, who we just saw play. 1 p.m. we'll have Denver Standbys, who we just saw play now, versus Sacramento's Kodiak Attack, their C team. 4 p.m. we'll have a mix-up team versus the Denver Layovers, and at 6 p.m. we'll have an all-star game. So that is a mixed roster versus Sacramento Bruin Trouble. So tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Mountain Time.